Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up.
There is not a simple recipe. You are either a human rights fighter every single moment of your life. It doesn't matter, are you in the office, sitting with your friends. It's most important that you are sharing with others that idea of tolerance, equality, universality, and being able to speak for those whose voices are not heard.
We also stand against any kind of discrimination that is done by people because either our way of life is not similar to their way of living, and therefore they are thinking that we are less human than them.
Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
You need knowledge that everybody has prejudice, and you have to be aware of your own prejudice and work with your own prejudice. And then I think, to be aware of the mechanisms and society mechanisms like categorization and hierarchies that make people treat one another different, that make people have different people higher on the scale if they have a lighter skin color, lower if they have a darker skin color, or higher on the scale if you only have a spinal cord injury, lower on the scale if you have an intellectual impairment.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up.
Eu, particularmente, uso daquilo que eu sei.
I'm especially using what I know, my personal experience, to advocate for sexual minorities.
Tento participar
I participate in forums, I write, I give a face to the Mozambican LGBT.
ao movimento LGBT moçambicano e
And above all, I make use of my own life to educate and sensitize persons who are suffering from discrimination.
educar e sensibilizar as pessoas para a questão da discriminação.
We gonna stand up for our rights. So you better get up, stand up. Don't give it up, stand up for your rights. Stand up right now. Get up, stand up.
Yo creo que primero
First of all, advocating for justice and equality leads me to speak out for those whose voices are not heard. They too are human beings, and together globally we can achieve all our human rights.
colectivo por nuestros derechos humanos.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
We find that people are rejected by organizations and even rejected by their own children, and that hurts us, and that is why we found it fit as an organization for visually impaired people to bring them here and teach them how to work with their own hands. This changes their lives when they return home.
I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's an art that needs a gold.
មួយគឺដោយយើងស្រឡាញ់នៅសុខសន្តិភាព
I love peace, justice and universal respect of human rights.
សិទ្ធិមនុស្សជាសកលហើយនឹងដោយឃើញនៅ
As I witnessed the suffering of Khmer people who have been victims of war, poverty and oppression for generations.
ដោយភាពក្រីក្រដោយការរំលោភបំពានស្ទើរគ្រប់ចំនួនការរំលោភ
All these ordeals have moved me to engage in human rights protection, which stemmed from issues in my own community.
ដើមចេញអំពីបញ្ហានៅក្នុងសហគមន៍
Take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you will look for yours.
You have to have the capacity to put yourself in the shoes of others. If you can do that, then half of the way of being a human rights defender is already done.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Life is your right. Get up, stand up. We can't give up the fight. Stand up.
the main method which I am using is to document the human rights violations by video cameras. I am the creator of the video project, which is to give the Palestinian families who are suffering from discrimination and suffering from violations video cameras to document their suffrage from their aspect, human being aspect.
All the time. So now we see the light. We gonna stand up for our rights. So you better get up, stand up in the morning.
Ну, если говорить о таком частном случае дискриминации, как ксенофобия.
Talking about xenophobia as a particular case of discrimination, it should be said that we do not have xenophobia based on ethnicity or religion in our official policy.
Религиозному признаку. Тот случай, когда люди испытывают.
It is the case when people are also discriminated against by their fellow citizens.
По религиозному или по национальному признаку не только со стороны государства, но и со стороны других граждан.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
Aspecto nebe kami defende maka atu hasai dignidade.
The aspect of non-discrimination that we defend is dignity.
Kata sira pelo menos hetang livre.
We want to increase the respect of human dignity, in particular of our disabled people, so that at least they can be free from discrimination in society.
Ami ya aspecto ida nebe kami defende ba uma deficiente sira.
For me, a human rights defender is an everyday person. There's no specific designation or specific title for a human rights defender.
Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Most people think great God will come from the sky, take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you would look for yours on your earth. And now you see the light.